In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
The laughter, whether it's from him or from the crowd, that's like the darkest humor I think I've heard in my life. To stumble into that, you know one thing coming out of this Freudian slip, he doesn't stay up at night thinking about what he has wrought on the world. It doesn't haunt him to this day, decades later, Jessica. What do you think?
Yeah, it's Throwback Thursday on the Damage Report. We're talking about Palin and we're talking about George W. And he's after this, he was like, "Sorry, I'm just really old." And it's like, "Sorry, I'm old. I forget to filter the truth out when I speak." Okay, George Bush. Rest in peace, Sigmund Freud. You would have loved George Bush, but I mean, he's right. George Bush is accidentally telling the truth because 200 civilians died in Iraq. He's absolutely right. I mean, it reminds me of just people saying we need to prosecute war crimes in Ukraine. And that's such a hard thing to do because the Bush administration, for all intents and purposes, committed hella war crimes. It's really hard to have any sense of justice in the international arena when we're violating the laws we expect other countries to abide by.
Exactly. Yeah, we should be prosecuting these war crimes. I mean, he seems to be unable, as he used to be, to filter out acknowledging that he's one of the worst mass murderers in the history of our species. And there were no consequences whatsoever. He got to just go off and do his little paintings or whatever. If Cameo had been around, he would have been on it at that point. So again, the joke, I guess, is on sanity or reason or respect for human rights. That's who the joke is on at the end of the day. But I will remind some of you who maybe you weren't like following politics. I know some of you were younger back then. A study was completed back in June 2006. It found that 650,000 people, civilians and fighters, had died as a result of the war in Iraq. That is from June 2006. The war went on for years and years. The instability and corruption and all that, the terrorist groups spring about in that chaos, that continues to this very day. But that was just from relatively early on in the conflict. That's what he was just joking about in that clip.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.